Welcome back everyone to another technical answer, and today we are back with POL coin. So since last time we were closer to this area and actually this zone was dragged here, but right now I dragged it a little bit closer to the actual current development bounce area, but we had pretty decent upward movement. Although we failed to secure this retest area, which we actually wanted to see like similar to this bounce here as well. So we wanted to see the similar bounce from here to happen here, but markets cooled down and now we're back in the region of this bounce area. Now, just again, copy pasting this place here, slightly below the 200 EMA area, this one as well here as well, putting it like this. And now what we are wanting to see is basically again an upward movement, and ideally we might see yet again like upward movement. What's different this time is, although since last times we had touched this area, we had instant movement to the upper zones, but this one basically broke the algorithm, if you can say this way, and we had not the bigger movement, but maybe a pre-movement before the bigger movement on the markets. So despite the correction movement we had right now, we still stay strong near current area, which is 200 EMAs, 100 EMAs, and this bullish trend, which forms, of course, this bounce zone. So what we are seeking is upward movement from this area. Now, if we look the risk and reward ratio wise, the target would be closer to 27, maybe even like 27.5%, and stop loss would be here. Now, in this case, risk and reward ratio is not the best one. It's yet still more than 1 to 2. But despite that, we are more used to getting like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk and reward ratios. So with that being said, on the 4-hour time frame, not talking about any kind of like risk and reward ratio right now, but purely on the chart wise, we want to see an upward movement which would bounce the price at least towards this region area here. And of course, first targets would be like 27-ish area. Now going to the hourly time frame, to take slightly different look here, what we see is we had some sort of sideways. There is a lot of fighting between buyers and sellers. You can see a huge fight here, here. Lots of high liquidity wicks happening in this region as well. So basically, very volatile movements, and of course, like these kind of candles, this one here, haven't actually taken a look on the closer time frames at the volatility that we have been having recently on the. That's crazy actually. But nevertheless, again, this area here. Now we want to remove this one here to not interrupt us. And on the smaller time frames, what we see is, first of all, we had some sort of market structure break here. So this liquidity area, we had a strong market structure break. Then, of course, we retested this trend line here and the branch of 100 and 200 EMAs. And since then, we have been having some sort of like slight upward movement. So we formed, this is lower high, higher high, and higher high. This is lower low, higher low, and lower low, lower high. No, higher low. Yeah. So now, if we go to the 5-minute time frame, you can see it's more like clearly high, 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 another high, and actually another high, and here as well high, 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 and another high. Now, what this says to us, let's go to the hourly time frame, is we see that buyers took over. We had slight correction, yet again, buyers took again over with more dominance. Sellers had some sort of correction moment. We had a nice slip over here, and buyers smoothly took over this area with this like half circle size chart and bounced up to the upper zones. Now there is still going on the fight between buyers and sellers. Now in current case, we would just actually go to the 5-minute time frame for more accuracy. So what we want to see is this area to be held by the buyers, and as long as we see buyers hold this area, and ideally actually this 100 EMA area, So as long as we hold it, we want to see a further movement to the upper zones. And in this case, I actually thought that we might see some sort of like scalping opportunities on the Polygon coin, but looking at current volatility on the POL coin, I don't see any like reasonable reasons for us to go into short-term trades here. So we are going to stick with the 4-hour time frame. Wasted like 3 minutes of the video on the short-term time frame, but whatever. So the trade is basically this. Now let me zoom out a little bit. The final target would be here, stop loss would be slightly here. In this case, risk on ratio is 1 to 5 basically. And targets for us would be, first of all, this smallish area here. This is like a secondary target. Now, this is the one target that we seek the most right now. And let me actually do it like this. And of course, the final target would be somewhere in the region of this area. So maybe we see some sort of support line. I would take a look here. And like this. So basically, we can count it as some sort of liquidity area. Actually, not liquidity area. This is the liquidity area, and the lower zone is just a resistance zone for us. So we want to see a break of 100 EMA to happen here. The first target would be this area. I'm removing this old line here. So first target, then we move stop loss here, then we move the stop loss here once we see the price mode here, and basically we use our old strategy that we've been using from time to time, like throughout the last 3 years basically. So once again, to get all this mess together, we are seeing a big opportunity on the Polygon coin for the price to reach this area, which is secondary target for us, this area, which is the main target for us, which would result in 1 to 2.5 risk and reward ratio trade for us. But there is a potential of reaching like 30 cents on the coin, which would mean another test, like retest to this upper resistance line. And then this would be an ideal position for us to go into the short position. So, pretty long video, messed up a little bit on the short time frames because we thought there were some opportunities to take, but as you saw yourself, lots of liquidity movements here, and not even on this time frame, like even on the hourly time frame, you can see a lot of liquidity hunting. So there is no use for us to go into the short-term trades or any scalping trades. So, as always, thanks for watching this video. Let's wait for this position to go, and I think it's pretty good risk and reward ratio trade, and we definitely are going to take this position. So, as always, thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next one.